Damn, Ingenious made the beat? Yo, welcome to another episode of the Coach Life Podcast Radio. I'm, of course, your host, the Prince of Positivity, Coach Steve. Join with me, as always, the dime dropper, Coach Luna. How we doing, Brody?
Blessed and highly favored, man. Ready to go ahead and touch this topic. I know we had a little bit of time off, okay, but we had to let some things marinate in people's spirit based off that last one. So we're back.
You know it. We have to let it marinate. I appreciate that. Again, early dime dropping right now. The CEO, founder of the Coach Life Podcast, Radio and Brand, Coach Wash. How we doing, Brody? Oh, don't do it to me, bro. We can't hear you now. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. You can't have these kind of issues this early in the pod right now.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now, Coach.
There we go. That's yeah. All
April
right.
Fool's joke.
Yeah, right. He's just making my job harder. That's all. I gotta do some editing. That's all. We gonna leave that in though.
Well, no, man, we doing good. Bless. We got a lot of things in life just lining up. Glory be to God on that.
You know it. Got another special one. Still in the mode of entrepreneurship. So bringing on a very special guest, somebody a little near and dear to me, cousin of mine, the CEO, founder of the Bogrt Ink brand, Mr. Courtney House, Coach Courtney House. How we doing, Brody?
Ah, man, that was a hell of an intro, man. I appreciate it,
I
man.
did absolutely nothing.
I feel blessed, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Dude, again, it's an absolute blessing to have you on, especially to talk about entrepreneurship. I'm really, really excited to talk to you about this because I got a chance to personally see your journey. So I can definitely co-sign on a lot of stuff that you're going to be able to drop on us today. Um, a lot of testicular fortitude it takes to start a business, grow a business, and take that leap of faith. And like I said, I got a chance to see it firsthand. So it's an amazing blessing to have you on and talk about this firsthand. So before we get into the nitty gritty of the Bogrt Ink tattoo brand, let's first and foremost talk about early Courtney. Before we get into that though, I'm gonna drop a fast five on you. So people out there that don't know who you are, I'm gonna drop 5 quick questions on you. Tell me quickly, give me your quick answer for each one of these. Like I said, no pressure.
Man, okay, go ahead, shoot.
What was the most exciting thing you've done last year?
Oh, shit, that's a good ass question. Holy shit.
Told you.
You know
No
what?
pressure.
Yeah. You know what? Took a trip. Took a trip to Ohio with the fam.
Always good.
Yeah.
Always good to
Yeah.
kick it with the fam, bro.
Most definitely.
If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
Japan.
Oh, Japan. Why Japan?
See, I always wanted to go to Japan. I always wanted to go to Japan. The culture, the art, just and I feel like it's totally different from. So I feel like it would be just like going to the just like to a flip side. You feel me? Like it's totally different than the norm that we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's man, from the pictures, it's gorgeous. And I'm a huge anime fan, so to go there, they are not ashamed to be an anime fan. Like they have like statues of Goku and Luffy and stuff. You know, these are grown men. Like these are people older than us. You know, and they like love these characters. You know, so just to check out their culture and really like immerse myself in their culture.
Absolutely, absolutely. Definitely feel you on the anime side, 100%. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Any historical figure, who would it be? Hmm. Not yet. You got some questions. Hmm. I guess for me, and it's nothing. I don't want to sound like I'm political or anything like that, but I would have to say, man, I would have to say Fred Hampton.
And why?
Only because like his views is like so like I always had this conversation with people like it's not the fact that he was trying to mobilize just black folks. No, he was like you know and it's very articulate. Um, and like when he talked, it's like damn near like a lot of his speeches like poems, bro. Like they're powerful yet artistic, and they hit to like a strong point. I feel like he's just somebody that I wouldn't mind just like picking it. Just ask questions,
Hmm.
not necessarily about like the movement, just like to see where he like see his start, give him those 5 questions that he's giving me. So yeah,
Kind of see what makes him tick, right?
yeah,
Is
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I most definitely.
cool. Best piece of advice you have ever received?
Best advice I ever received. Don't let me see. Don't get to it. How can I? Oh, every day is a new day. So that's how I'm like. I can hear. I hear it in my mind because this was told to me. Like I was young, and I got in my feelings because I got in trouble for something, and I held a grudge the next day. And this is when I was in the military, and my sergeant was like, "You holding a grudge from yesterday? That was yesterday. Today's a new day." So it's like, every day is a new slate. You know, it's your time to be a better person the next day. This is your time to be better than what you was yesterday. You know,
Absolutely.
uh, don't just hold grudges. From yesterday. More so, just grow on it. Build yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for participating in Fast Five, sir. Got a
Man, I
little
don't know
bit.
how fast it was. It wasn't
Uh,
that fast, but
It's
yeah.
it's a mediocre five.
This was the essay version.
The essay version, right?
Right.
So let's take it back to early Courtney. Before we started our own business, where was Courtney coming out of high school?
Military. Went straight to the military. My high school did such a poor job at like telling me like what we can do. Like I was drawing in high school, but I didn't know what to do with it. I was told like not to really like focus on drawing. You got to do something that's gonna be progressive or whatever in this world. So I went to the military. I was already in ROTC. I went to the military right after high school.
So going right into the military, what was the mindset when you went to the military? Was it just like I'm doing this for school, or was this like I'm more so just trying to figure out life at this point? Like what was the
Trying to figure out
direction?
life, man. So to break it down, I joined the Army Reserves. Um, man, I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school because like I said, my skill set was like drawing on the desk, on the walls, just drawing. Like I'm like, all right, what can I do with this? So I didn't really know what to do with that. I just needed a job. I wanted something that was going to be like a secure job. So I went to the military, reserve, joined the military reserve, but I also went to school for criminal justice. I was planning to become a police officer because I knew it was going to be a secure job. Not necessarily the same job, but a secure job. So, like, I was trying to, like, I didn't want to be broke, poor, homeless type stuff. So, I wanted to actually be a part of this world that we live in. So, I'm like, all right, what can I do? So, military and becoming a cop.
So coming out of the military. Well, first of all, what do we do in the military? Did we have any military experiences that help like kind of sharpen some of the skills that we moved
Okay.
into later on in life?
Well, man, really, yes. Time management. I'm mad that I said time management. I'm late. No, leadership mindset. Discipline. The military helped us with a lot of things. A lot. It opened the world up to me. Before I joined the military, I went to school on the south side of Chicago, predominantly black. I didn't really have any contact with other ethnicities or just other people. So I didn't really know how to communicate outside of my people. So when I joined the military, it was an eye opener. It's crazy when you grow up and you're like when I grew up where I grew up from, I looked at it as being like real proper, and the people used to be like, "You sound white," only because I had a speech impediment. So I had to learn how to speak proper English. I didn't have the luxury of learning how to speak slang in the beginning. When you have a speech impediment, when you try to speak slang, nobody was going to understand anything I was going to say. So speech classes is where I had to go. So I came out speaking real proper. So a lot of people was like, "Oh, you must be mixed." Parents, like all kind of things when I grew up on my side. And then when I went to the military, you go from not quite fitted in because you're not, I guess, you're not street or hood enough to the military where you got people calling you ghetto. I'm like, gee, what? Like, it's almost like a badge of honor, like, oh shit. But it was just an eye opener because I didn't know how to really have conversations with other people with different backgrounds. So I coined the military for giving me that experience. Also, like I said, discipline and integrity. Self-evaluation. Looking at yourself and be like, all right, yeah, I have stuff. That's on me.
Right.
You get that from the military because they most definitely make you take accountability for a lot of things.
So this set up a lot of stuff to start springboarding yourself to have that more independent mindset, the more can-do mindset, the more, you know, focused mindset. So
And
coming
which
out,
which is crazy because it's kind of like an oxymoron because the military is like more so like you know as a group, it's a team effort. Everything's a team. So I thought that's pretty dope that I was able to get that. That really helped me with this journey.
so transitioning out of the military, did we have the entrepreneurship mindset transitioning out, or did we kind of develop into that?
I developed into that. I think at that moment I had a more sense of a duty. I wanted to. I felt like I was living purpose. I was just I realized that I needed to find my purpose at that point. So that's it kind of helped me shift into that gear, but it was mostly like at that point in time I was really like looking like what's my purpose? What's my duty? What am I supposed to do?
I got a
So
question for you. So you said something earlier about when you were in school, you were drawing all the time, but you were discouraged to do the drawing, right? That's what you
Right.
said, something along those lines. How did you keep that passion or keep that um, talent? How did you keep it polished to when you finally did get out the military that it was that got placed on your heart to say, hey, that's where that entrepreneurship is gonna take me. How did you keep that thing going when you've been discouraged the whole time about doing something that you love?
So that's a really good question. So what kept me motivated, it didn't really look as if it was like, man, I'm trying to polish this skill, keep going. It's more so like it was like escape for me. Like I generally enjoy to create. I generally enjoy look like I said, my passion, one of the things I love is anime. So I generally enjoy watching anime and be like, oh man, what if I could make my own character? And that's what it like really stemmed from making my own character for watching cartoons where the Power Rangers Dragon Ball Z, and so it really took me to like when in high school I'm creating things and people noticing what I create and they're like, oh, we love that. So bro, I'm trying to get the tattoo. Can you create this tattoo for me? I'm not tattooing, I'm just doing the tattoo design for them. Even at that point, I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do with it because I'm like, all right, this is not gonna give me any money. This is not gonna support my lifestyle. Um, when I got out of college, when I got out of high school and went to college for criminal justice, I was still like something. I still wasn't sold with the whole idea of being a police officer. Like something was like emptying in me because I was still drawing and stuff because it was like a piece. You know, I just truly enjoy creating things. And I was actually walking through the hallway at Westwood College in River Oaks. That's where I went to college. It was some pictures up on the wall, like mock advertisement. Somebody created something on the computer, like car and stuff. I'm like, wait, time out. What is this? And they like, yeah, this is our visual communication program. And I was just like, what is that? And she's like, well, it's like graphic design. It's graphic design. And I was like, wait, what is that? You know, so I'm like that right there was like the what I really needed because I switched my major into graphic design and I was there, like I was really inspired. I was around other people that was creative. I was around teachers, professors that was in the field that was showing me work. And that really helped me like being around people that's better than me in that field made me really want to be in that field. You know, really made me want to be like, yo, I want to create. You know, and even at that time, I still wasn't quite in the mindset of like, oh, I want to be a tattoo artist. You know, I had the dream of being a tattoo artist in high school, but I abandoned it because I'm like, I didn't know how to truly get into that field. Because one thing that kept me from the tattooing is uh, working with people's blood, working with people's skin. So that kept me from like just jumping into it and becoming what people call a scratcher. I have nothing against scratchers. Like that's pretty much what I was doing once I actually learned and I started working in my house. You know, so technically you're called a scratcher, but I wasn't really ready to jump into that because I didn't know what I was doing when it came to working with people's bodies and people's skin. I didn't want no one to get infections. Like that kept me at bay. Like potentially getting someone sick kept me at bay. So so I have to find another alternative. Like what can I do that I can still create some stuff that's my stuff? And that's where graphic design came from. So I'm going to school for graphic design. I
So
hope I answered the question.
no, you
That's
did. Your
that's
imagination has been your safe haven. That's where
yes.
you've
Yeah, pretty much.
always found refuge is in your imagination. You are comfortable within your thoughts, and you can create art off of your thoughts.
Man,
Awesome.
hey, I wish I would just put it like that. But yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it was. Like I could be like that safe haven was like my go-to place for everything. Like my brothers, they had like mad friends. I wasn't like necessarily a loner, but I feel more comfort just being in my book or being on the desk drawing some shit. Like just escaping to like making a whole scenario for myself.
So again, going back to school, and you said have being around that like-minded group that helped you significantly. I think people miss how important being around that type of environment kind of helps stems a lot of progress in a person. Was it a person or was it just the experience of being around those individuals, or was it somebody, or was it a person, or was it something that was said, or was it just like you said, just being around the experience is what made you kind of really immerse yourself in going back to school?
Um, it was really it was being around it's more so being around the art, to be around like pieces of art, just like trying to figure out how did somebody put this together. And that got the wheels really going. And I'm like, okay, the only way I'm gonna figure this out is if I ask questions. And then that's when I met, you know, different people. And I'm like, okay, this is where I belong. You know, they know this and I'm trying to learn this. You know, even as I got into that field, knowing that I'm not that good. Like putting my heart and soul into a piece just so it can get picked apart by somebody that's like pretty much a master at this. Like I know it's weird, but I'm just like it made me want to just like, all right, cool. I need to do better. I need to really go hard. You know, don't get it twisted. I ain't gonna lie. Like I got started, but it was something else that like yeah, I was let down, but it kind of like pushed me forward because I'm like, okay, I don't want to get that no more. So I gotta really I gotta throw this person away.
Right.
Like that type of stuff. So that's, yeah.
So it's more of a motivation at that
Yeah,
point.
it was
It's like
motivation. Yeah.
you don't look at it as I'm getting picked apart. It's more so this is now fuel for the fire to keep going.
Now that's coming from like grade school and high school because I would draw stuff and I get acknowledged for being a good drawer. But then there's always somebody who wanted to challenge that, like, hey, all right, you know, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
wait, hold on. This is what I do. G. Like, you know, kind of like rap battles and shit. Like, you know, like, oh, okay, cool. See, like, and now I draw something and try to blow them away type stuff. So it's like when somebody look at my work, you know, especially when I put my all into it, and they say like, it's cool. First, I look at the person, and if the person is like, you know, he has taste or skill set, then yeah, that's the person that I'm trying to, you know, show out or trying to impress at that time.
Got you. So making the transitions, like, so I kind of know some of this. So for those who do not know, how did we make the transition to starting our own business?
Okay, so I started when I okay, so actually it started before being a tattoo artist. Doing graphic design, I wanted to be a graphic design artist, like a freelancer. But as I was creating for people, I didn't have that creative freedom that I really wanted. You know, when you do graphic design is a design with a purpose. So I'm designing like menus. Uh, like that, like I went for the mindset of like, man, I want to design like cover arts or like movie posters, and that's just not what that wasn't what I was offering. So a lot of the stuff I was getting was like menus and brochures, and it was a lot of like, all right, this is cool, but it's not really what I wanted. So I was like, I was really like, I knew I wanted to work for myself in that sense, like create, but that's not what I wanted to do. So I really just I went away from there for a minute, designing and stuff, until I started looking at tattoos again, like whether it was a friend that had a tattoo, and I'm like, bro, I could probably do that a whole lot better. And then that's when it like really like snapped at me, like that old feeling that I had back in high school came back, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to really jump into this. And I already knew that being a tattoo artist, they're known as like at that time I already knew that like you don't necessarily work for anybody, you work for yourself. But like if you work for a shop, you're more so like partnering with that shop. So I knew that. So I was like, okay, cool. I don't really have, you know, I don't really want to work for anybody. I want to work for myself. Because for the simple fact that I didn't really feel like I fit in with people. You know, I didn't really feel like I fit in people groups, especially in the tattoo world. Like I have a different mindset. Like I feel like a lot of the tattoo artists that I knew, especially in my area, they're more so like street, you know. And here I come and shit, and I'm just like weird and shit. Like I'm awkwardly, I'm socially awkward in my head. So I'm just like, all right, this is not gonna work. So I'm like, I really want to do this, but I don't really want to work for anybody. So that's kind of like how it kind of like started. You know, I knew I wanted to learn how to do tattoos because I knew I'd be cold at that shit. Uh, hey, first of all, are we able to curse on this? I'm
You
like, I'm
Yeah,
cursing
free
a
talk.
lot.
reign,
Man,
bro. Talk your talk,
I,
bro. Talk your talk.
Yes.
It's too late now, and I
uh,
ain't editing shit out.
yeah. You have to give my like. I'm trying to work my vocabulary. My bad, guys. Like, I'm like,
No. We
uh,
we
like I
cut
said, this is my
loose.
first time doing something like this. So I'm just like, man, you know,
I'm
this is
keeping all this shit too, by the way. Just FYI. I'm not editing this out either.
um, but yeah, I really wanted to. It wasn't so much. So it wasn't really so much about the money at the time. It was just something that I really wanted to do, and not have to worry about. You know, not really have to worry about somebody like other people working because that's all I've done is work 9 to 5. So I'm like, this is something that I own, something that you can't just replace me. Like this is what I do. So it's more so like that, and being known as like a dope tattoo artist, giving people some really dope pieces, being paid for it was a bonus.
Man, you know what's interesting to me? I love it's this balance but imbalance at the same time. There's like this confidence in you the whole time. As an artist, you're very confident. But society and everything you were told was like you already didn't know what you were gonna do with your gift, but you were confident in your gift. Like even people talking that shit, it's kind of like like you said, the analogy of the rap battle. If you confident in your bars, you coming in that thing like, yo, what, I'm waiting for my round. You sound like that's who you are as an artist. That's how you've been. But you got this question mark about just taking a leap. You've done it now, but it sounds like it was so much time where you were trying to figure out, do I do it? You was double dutch.
Yeah, most bro. Steve already know. Like I come to his office when I was working for him. I'll come to his office and we'd be chopping it up, and I'll be like, man, I really feel like I could do this. And I'm like, what's next thing? I'm gonna wait, because like something about like when you're working on your own, like a lot of people they romanticize being an entrepreneur, right? And it's so much more than just working for yourself. When you work for yourself, you either work or you don't eat, right? And at this point in time, I got a family now. I got 4 kids and I have a fiance. So that whole idea, like, oh man, I just work for myself, sit in the office, I ain't got to listen to nobody. Nah, the pressure's on. The pressure's like, hey, how you gonna make this money? How you gonna, and it's something I love doing, but I cannot be blind to the fact that like, all right, I also need to make money as well. And man, that's having that mindset is like even now, it's like I still have that mindset at any given moment I had that mindset like it's kind of slow, man. It's kind of nerve wracking, having counsel on you, got a client coming in and like I ain't gonna make it. It's still got that question mark, like shit. Okay, because that's one of the reasons why I kind of jumped back into the 9 to 5 overnight. It's my part-time job, but I'm still there. I went from being like full time just a tattoo artist for like 3 years straight, just not doing nothing but tattooing, and it felt great. But it was also that on the other side, it's nerve wracking. Waking up, you know, that's where like prioritizing your funds and your time really comes into place. Because you don't prioritize your funds, you make money, you spend it, you got stuff you gotta, bills and shit, that's why you get a lot of I know there's a lot of tattoo artists and a lot of people in general that's like they got their own business and they kind of got this desperate mindset and it causes them to make bad decisions and do bad business because they trying to make that ends meet. They got to, because they didn't quote unquote they didn't prioritize their time, they didn't prioritize their funds, they didn't read the market correctly. That's another thing with tattooing. You got slow seasons. Then you gotta read that. You have to have all your eggs, your I forgot that terminology, but like you gotta make sure you save up for those cold winters, So yeah, man, it's nerve wracking, man. Like it's a great thing. It's a great feeling now. But the pros to being an entrepreneur is, of course, you have to dictate how much money you're gonna make. You get to dictate when you go to work. You get to decide if you work, if you're gonna when you're gonna take your vacation. You decide these things. You have more freedom, but you also get more freedom to like pretty much change yourself. If you're not disciplined, being an entrepreneur, you have to be disciplined. You have to be persistent. You gotta be consistent. You have to have in my field. You have to be great with customers. Customers are not so like customers that you normally want to talk to. Clients like you like, all right, you have to know how to really like interact with them. So it's like a lot that goes into being an entrepreneur. People sleep on being an employee, and I had a conversation with you, Steve. Being an employee, you can do so much as an employee. Like it gets shit on because people think that entrepreneur right now, entrepreneur is like a cool thing right now. You know, it's great, but it's a trend right now because it's like, oh, you can work, you can be your own boss. You know, you ain't gotta look to nobody, you ain't gotta blah blah blah, all that stuff. But like being an employee, because I was an employee as well, there's a lot of benefits into being an employee. You don't have to worry about when your next meal goes. As long as you get paid a bill, you know, you can go into work and be mediocre in your job. You know, you get paid. You know, they come with benefits. Being an entrepreneur, you have to come up with your own benefits. You have to make those phone calls with the healthcare. You gotta make phone calls with Fidelity and see if they got a 401 plan for you. You have to do that stuff. If you don't invest your money, if you don't invest in your healthcare, bro, you'll be in a lot of trouble down the road. And where not being an employee, you don't really have to worry about that. No. So I feel like before anybody jump into becoming an entrepreneur, they need to understand like what it truly means to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, I heard before saying, entrepreneurship is where you go 9 to 5 to work 24 hours for yourself. And I'm like, I'm so busy with that. I'm like, even as I'm talking to y'all now, I'm putting like I'm talking to you, and I got my computer screen. I'm looking at test tomorrow.
So I want to go back into a couple things that you said, but you got somebody in the background because I don't want to miss anything you're saying right now. Yeah, one of the things that you said that I thought was like super key was again having this mindset to keep attacking and keep going and building for yourself, because again, like you said, if you don't work, you don't eat. The mindset for entrepreneurship has got to be very different. What was it that helped kind of switch that mindset like immediately, like you said, because like Coach Wash said, you was double dutching for a minute. What was it that made you say, all right, I'm jumping all the way in right now? Because you said there was a period of time of 3 years where you said no work, I'm grinding on my craft. So what was it that made you say, I'm just gonna pull the trigger and go all the way?
Kind of sales started picking up. I got better at my craft. Being consistent, doing it over and over again, doing it for a cheap rate, I was getting more clients and more people was appreciating my work. So I got to the point where I was making more money. I was losing money being at work, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, like that. I never experienced something like that before. It's crazy, you know. So I'd be driving a truck to like Dixon, Illinois, and I got at like 2 o'clock, and I got an appointment at 6 o'clock. Ain't no way I'm gonna make it back to Chicago by 6 o'clock before I gotta get to my client. And that's like $200-$300 time. So I'm just like, bro, I'm losing money doing this on the 5. So it became a logical thing for me. I'm like, okay, this is not working. Having this 9 to 5 really stopping me from growing this tattoo field. I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it puts you in a situation where it's like I can leave, like I have the option to leave right now. If you didn't have that clientele build, if we didn't have the situation where that now became the option, where like now my side job, which is what my true passion is, actually, you know, bringing in more income than my actual current job right now. If that didn't happen, would you still have made that transition, or would you feel like you would have probably hesitated?
I would have hesitated. It would have took me a little longer to get to it. It would have took me a little longer to get into it, even with like great support from like my mom, even from you. It still would have took me a minute because the reality of having a family that's like depending on you, that's like, okay, I love doing this. You know, I feel peace in doing this. I feel a sense of purpose of, you know, being able to be there for people, you know, artistically. You know, I love this. But I also have to be there for the people that matters to me. You know, so knowing that I have to pay bills and make sure we have a roof over our head, that took like priority. So if it was, if say I wasn't like putting in the work and I was just like, I was mediocre and people would, I wasn't taking to the piece I was putting out, yeah, probably would take me a little bit longer than become full time.
So, what's probably the most rewarding part about being a tattoo artist?
My clients, man, leaving my room like excited, seeing their expression on their face. Them telling me that like, I'm not the coldest tattoo artist, like, but they make you feel like you are the only tattoo artist in this world. Like, okay, and also like seeing them on the street with my artwork in them, like just randomly. I'm like, bro, I did that. Like, love looking at that piece. Like, whether I could feel like I could do better, it's just the fact that somebody's wearing something that I created. It's like a high.
It's a badge of honor. They got to wear that for life, though. That's the cool part.
Yeah, most definitely, man. That's that's the cool part, and there's the downside too. Because I'm like in my beginning days, I'm like, shit, I just and we go in the back. You can find me up in the back. But at those times, at that level that I was at, they still look at them tattoo like, bro, you was calling like, I love this piece. I won't tell them like that. And I'm gonna tell them that, but I'm like, I'm at this level with doing tattoos, So that's yeah.
So, what's your favorite style of tattoo? So, I know that there's a bunch of different styles that are out there for tattooing. What is your favorite, and what do you feel like you get requested the most to do?
Okay, so what I get requested the most to do and what my favorite are totally opposite. My favorite tattoos are like realism, and you know what? Let me backtrack. I'm sorry. Right now it's illustration, being able to do like an anime piece or doing a superhero piece. It's like it's my take on it. I can do anything. When you do realism, is like kind of like whatever you see, that's what you have to tattoo. What I don't, what I get requested to do a lot is mostly like butterflies. Like women love butterflies. I get those a lot. Butterflies and black and gray. A lot of black and gray work.
What has been the easiest tattoo, the easiest money you've ever made tattooing?
Easy names, doing names and words. Like I did the math one day, and I'm just like, bro, like I had a $75 deal one day, and I did like names tattoo like this big, a name or a word, and $75 tattoo, and I did 10 people that day. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. Like can somebody be like, yo, can I get a name? I'm like, yeah. It's like it become like therapeutic too. So just doing the line work on it, it's like I try to become a lot better at that every time I do a name tattoo. Like it's just I can concentrate. I kind of like zone off. It is like, man, it's easy. Letter tattoos.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Again, like you said, it's just that artistic touch that you get to create those things. So let's take it to the other side. What has been the most challenging tattoo you have ever done?
Most challenging tattoo that I've ever done. I did a Jesus piece. It's a portrait of Jesus inside of a cross. Um, yeah, that was probably the hardest one. It was my client's idea. This is what Jesus looked like to her, and it was so I had to take that and I had to create something to make her be like, okay, yeah, that's what he looks like, and making it realistic. I was like, all right, cool. So when you do realistic, it's kind of like there's no room for error when you do something realistic. The only the only The only benefit that I had was don't nobody know what Jesus looked like. So that being said, it's just like I need to make this guy look good, So and it took like 7 hours, 7 or 8 hours to do that piece. It was on her arm. It came out gorgeous though. But it had so much. That had so much like reward in that was so high though. It's just one of those high rewards, but like high risk at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to do. I'm finishing my first portrait. Now that's going to be the most challenging piece that I've done today.
So how long is that gonna take?
I told him 10 hours just to give me that time. Because I'm taking my time. Yeah, I'm taking my time. It's gonna be when you do portraits, there's a lot of like building. You just don't go in there and start like dark to light. Now you go back to the old. Go back to like areas that you already hit, and you just go back in there. You add some more depth to it, some more lighting to the side. So it's gonna take a minute. And it also falls on the client too. The client gotta be their paint tolerance gotta be up there as well, because you're gonna be sitting there for a while.
We can talk about the pain tolerance because again, as
Yeah.
all of us on this podcast, we all have tattoos. You have had I've been blessed to be able to have a piece done by you, sir, which we definitely still
One of
have
my
to finish.
favorite pieces, boy. Hey, that villain piece, and we're supposed to be adding like some more X-Men to that, man. Like
We got a lot of stuff we gotta do. We got a lot of stuff we gotta do to that. But yeah, let's go back to that pain piece. Those people that can't sit in that chair for 2 minutes for that needle start to get to digging.
Those are those clients that I told you about, man. You gotta learn how to deal with those clients, all kind of clientele. You gotta learn how to deal with them. So, when it comes to like people like that, I always have to remind them, like, all right, this is the piece that you wanted. This is the piece that you put your money aside for, saved up for. So you'll be doing yourself a disservice by just up and quitting. So it's like a lot of coaching. Like I'm coaching them and kind of motivate them to stay. It works, but I get those where it doesn't work on everybody. I get those that like, no, you can have the money. I'm gone. like, sheesh. And as great as it is to get paid, I really love seeing my work. So not being able to finish my idea, what I have in my head, it's irritating sometimes. But it comes with the territory. And I don't really like, pointing fingers at like clients and stuff because they can take the pain. Tattoos is not easy, tattoos, like y'all have tattoos. That shit hurt. Like I tell people all the time, they like, does it hurt? Yeah, tattoos hurt, but it's more so like an irritated pain. I always tell people it's a bearable pain, until it becomes unbearable.
Right.
Man, you know what I'm gathering here, and I've actually heard this from a lot of different people, but just like artists in general, it's like you just need that business side taken care of for you. Because that's just like athletes, they need agents. I feel like artists need like the same structure, they need the same setup because that's two different sides of the mind. Those are two different people in most cases. They're usually not the same person. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I'm gathering. Like even the comfort of going to the 9 to 5, like somebody that's business minded, usually you hear the stories of a serial entrepreneur, somebody that may be a billionaire, and they had a point where they hit rock bottom. It was like that's when they went full-fledged into their business idea. They're already business minded. It was like it's either this way or no way. Like we nothing or we something. I gotta make it work. But as an artist, it's like it's still I don't want to say it's a hobby. It is your business. It's your gift. But it's something you enjoy doing. You're gonna do it regardless you're getting paid or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the difference out here from like a straight business minded person versus an artist. I feel like an artist always needs some type of guidance of the business side. Somebody to kind
And
of
I
come
agree
in.
with that 100. I agree with that 100. I had this conversation with you already, Steve, about that. Being an artist, most definitely, we're I'm not gonna say we're emotion based driven or nothing like that, but it's like it's mostly like, all right, I'm doing this because I love doing this, you know, like this brings me joy. But then that's the business side of the thing. That's for the most part, a lot of artists look at it like, oh shit, I gotta do this part too. Damn, all right, I gotta set up for this, I gotta set up for that. Like you still book my appointments. Like I'm like, damn.
And it's not much room for it though, because your imagination rolling. Like you on the next piece, you want to draw something. So it's kind of hard to like sit there, focus, and then come back to the business side of it, you know?
That's what that discipline comes into place. Now I'm not saying that I have mastered that, because I haven't mastered that at all. But I do recognize like that's where the discipline comes in at. That's where I have to break I have to sit down and be like, all right, this is the other side. This the administrative work, it has to be done. You know, because that's how you're gonna get people to come sit down in your chairs to actually get the tattoo. You have to sit back. I have to do the numbers. I have to do the scheduling. I have a planner. Like I have like books that I go back to the old days, just like using pen and paper. You know, I know they got like apps and stuff that you can set up schedules. I found that this is an easier way for me to book people is to actually writing things down. Taking that time out, you know, after just schedule. Like I usually choose a day to be like, all right, this is gonna be the day that I do my schedule on. You know, because it's so easy to get caught up in just like wanting to create stuff. Want to submerge yourself in like creativity or just watch something that help motivate you to bring something else. You know, when you just like forget about your administrative work, you know, booking people, getting supplies, making sure bills are paid, and for my suite, you know, so stuff like that. So I most definitely I agree with you. But like I said, it can be done, but it takes discipline and it takes time for time management.
Yeah, that's a huge piece. That's for anybody, but I just know it's much tougher from an artist standpoint. And when I'm focusing on something that's art related, like I do music, and it's crazy because recently I've had an A&R and a mentor reach out to me because of a project I released recently, and just kind of discussing the business side of it. Even though I know business, when I'm focused on my art, it's kind of like I'm engrossed in the art. You know what I'm saying? And so they ask me like, how you get this out? What's your monthly goal on this side? But it's still kind of like where you was at. I've been double dutching it. You know, it's been on the side, and I've been doing sales. I've been doing 9 to 5 stuff. You know, but yeah, you have to get to a point where, like you said, it's the discipline piece. You lock it down. You have your time set aside for this. This is all business. I need to cut this off. And then now this is time for art. This is time for scheduling. I think developing a routine. We talked about this in like pods before. A routine is key, to where you want to be. The seasonal thing that you mentioned, that was very interesting to me. It made me think about too when we're talking about finances ago. I think you were referring to an emergency fund. Is that what you were trying to think of?
Yeah, most definitely. Yep.
All season. Did you try to break it down? You ever try to break it down to a point where like this is what I make on average, so this is how much I need to do within these hot periods of the year to be steady for this time frame?
So when I first started doing it, like when I was doing it full time, I didn't even have that like foundation. I didn't have the basic foundation. I just knew like, oh, my clientele picking up. I'm just gonna jump into it. That was like the romanticized part. Like, oh shit, I just do this full time. Not thinking about like, all right, I need a whatever I make, I need to go ahead and put that aside and make sure I have what I need to take care of X, Y, and Z. Surprisingly, there's a lot of tattoo artists that still have that mentality where they make the money and it goes right out the door doing something. That's why you get a lot of unfortunately you get a lot of tattoo artists that pass away. You have to do like GoFundMe. We just did a GoFundMe for a tattoo artist not too long ago, and he was a dope artist. And it's like we don't plan for like those what if moments. Those aren't what if. Some of the moments are like inevitable. Like you have to make sure you have stuff paid at the end of the month. I mean, at the beginning of the month, you got to make sure you got your bills paid. You got to make sure those are coming. But yeah, you still have people that want to put. I didn't do it. I was making the money and wasn't putting the fire for the bills for next month because I'm like I'm banking on the people that's supposed to come in at the end of the month. You know, their money that's not there. It's coming though because I got them put down in my planner. You know,
Right.
and that's a very risky way to live because clients, even with a deposit, they could be like, I ain't gonna make it. And you just like now you
Yeah.
just trying to figure out like how you gonna make money, how you gonna be able to pay that rent.
You know, I love that we had you on this week, following some of the other entrepreneurs we had. And this was by design because I wanted people to hear the difference between more structured businesses, not to say that tattooing can be structured, but just understanding the difference between something that requires a lot more structure and it is naturally going to be more structured once a system is established. For example, if I were to open a brick and mortar shop of some sort, let's just say a restaurant, you know, you'll
Right.
get to a point where if you build the right reputation and you take care of your business, it'll be clockwork. You know, it'll be a little bit more steady. But tattooing it's a little bit more free flowing, and there's a lot pulling you away from the structure of the business. So,
And you have to do it. That's the other thing too.
you have to do the
physically
work.
have to
You
do the
can't
work.
hire
Right.
somebody else to be the tattoo. You are the artist. You
Right.
are the business. You every piece of it. You know, and so just hearing a different angle of business structures and entrepreneurship, you summing up this month real good because at the end of the day, like I used to tell my students, I actually taught an entrepreneurship class.
Okay.
Everybody can't have a business.
Facts.
Everybody ain't built to have a business. And they like the benefits you name, it sound cool. Like I set my own schedule. Yeah, you could set your own schedule. You could be broke with an open book too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, my
Yeah.
schedule open for the day. I ain't got a dime to do anything. But you know, like you said, it's a lot of discipline that comes with having that flexibility and knowing what to do with that flexibility. You know what I'm saying? And some of those things that I don't want to say take for granted, it just kind of make you grind it much harder as far as like health benefits. Like I sold health insurance before. If you ain't in a group plan, oh God, well, it's an arm and a leg. You already know probably.
Man.
The investment side, I think that's something easier to tap into without being tied to a job. A little bit of education, you can get pretty far with investments to set yourself up with a retirement. But the health insurance side, I understand that point. But
That's
yeah, I
tough for a
think
lot of people.
yeah.
Oh yeah. And then one thing about tattooing that I have this conversation too, like when you are working for yourself, tattooing is not a need. It's more so of a want. People want tattoos. So that's another like I have friends that's barbers. So that's something that
Mhm.
people you're gonna get client as long as you're doing good work, you're gonna get clientele to come in to get a haircut because everybody needs a haircut at this day and age, right? Great grooming, right? Tattoo is not something necessary that people need. This is something that you want. So I also look into it in that way where it's like, okay, this is really not this is not something that it's I'm not gonna say for sure, but it's not something that's like certain. Like I can't sit back on here and just because even I was talking to Steve, I'm like, you know what, I love doing tattoos, but I also like what's gonna be my long term goal, because who's to say that we blessed now that like tattoo is like huge, is $1 billion industry now, right? But who's to say that a wave doesn't just come and just knock that shit over and be like, you know what, I don't really want to get tattoos no more. Now, it's something that I love doing, but can it be something that's going to sustain my livelihood at the same time at the high level that I was once at. So I always think about those type of things as well. Because like I said, tattoo is not something that people need. It's just something that people want. I still see myself as doing a service for people. I love being there for people creatively, and even like some people call it ink therapy because we're talking to each other and I'm listening to them. I'm talking.
Like the barbershop, like the
Yeah, pretty
barbershop.
much. Yeah,
Yep.
right. But it's not. But it doesn't have the same security as being a barber.
Yeah. You know what? I honestly think you secure as a tattoo artist. I don't think getting tattoos, you're right, it's not a need, but it's so much shit that ain't going nowhere that's not a need that we gonna constantly buy.
And and tattoos have been since the beginning of time. Like
That's what
that's
I was
something
just
like
about to say. It's tribal, it's cultural, it's an expression of self. So I don't think it's ever going anywhere. I think the biggest thing I say creatively shifting, not shifting, but creatively marketing is what tattooing is really about. As far as like putting yourself out, like you said, with something that's not a need, you got to truly be a hustler. Now that side of you on with business, that's where you got a product that don't necessarily sell itself until you expose your gift enough to the point where people see like, damn, like he the one. Like I need the trial. You got people flying to come get tattoos because I know it's artists like that. So kind of getting yourself out there to the point where people feel like that towards you.
Absolutely. So
well, you know what? That's always gonna be it goes back to that double dutch statement you made. I told you like that never like for me, it's like it never really goes away for me. And that's something that I'm working on. Like personally.
That's what a lot of people do. The mental side of it, like changing your mind. Like you said, you already wired to let go of yourself, but you were wired to let go of your art when you was a teenager.
Yeah.
Now you've taken a big step. Now you at the point where you winning. So it'll continue to grow as you continue to do it.
Because of the consistency and dedication. Again, Coach Lloyd, you hit the nail on the head. We said again, it's by design. We've had a lot of entrepreneurs on this podcast talking about their business and where they currently are right now. And a lot of them have some very established businesses right now. Some of them have some they're coming off the ground right now. A lot of them are already kind of still on that upward ascent right now. And you just recently got your wheels off the ground and got the wheels inside the plane right now, right? You just not getting everything off the ground for yourself. So it's amazing to see the different levels.
Oh, yeah,
and also it's amazing to see, like Coach Wash said, the need that needs to happen at each one of these levels because it's different, and the mindset that needs to happen. But that same consistency and the same dedication is still there from that entrepreneurial mindset. So almost look at it like when you went from high school to going to college. When you were in high school, you went to each class, the teacher gave you your assignments, they gave you your stuff, and you did your shit and you went on about your business. When you went to college, they gave you a syllabus in the beginning. They said, we'll see you at midterm or we'll see you at the final. It's on you to make sure that you kind of map this out.
Everything in between, you got
that's on you.
List.
Right. I gave you a list. That's on you. So like it's kind of like your business, right? You kind of have an idea of what you want to do, but I mean, of course, there's the end goal is for us to have that consistency. But again, all the steps that it takes in that middle ground that's super important. So I'm glad you were able to call a lot of that stuff out and actually give some real clarity around what it really takes to own a business and maintain a business, because anybody can start a business. Coach Wash said it again, everybody not supposed to have one. Anybody can start a business. Anybody can start a business.
Hey man, some people have no problem being great employees, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely.
And they know it. I had some students tell me this, 17, 18 years old. They knew this about themselves right away. They be taking my class. They like, Coach, I ain't gonna be no business owner.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what I say. Like like there's absolutely nothing wrong, right? With like there's a notion now where it's like, oh man, why work for somebody? You making somebody else richer, you're not doing it for yourself. Like you can still make yourself rich doing being an employee. Like there's a negative stigma right now. Like because like I said, like being an entrepreneur is attractive right now. It's a trend, right? It's just like yeah, it's the hot thing to do. But there's a lot of things you can do within being an employee. You know, you can still have that successful life. You can still live that successful lifestyle, whatever your lifestyle is. You can still. Well, first you have to determine. This is what I came up with. Like, you have to determine what you want your lifestyle to be, and then you base that off. Like, okay, all right, well, what do I want to do? It's so many different professions that you can do where it doesn't require you to have your own business. And I feel like we need to get back to those type of conversations at the same time. There's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur neither. That's is great, but also being an employee is also great as well. So that's one thing I'm starting to notice.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna wrap this up a little bit. I don't want to take over Steve's job, but what I heard at the end of the day is about what you want your life to be, but also managing what you get from your life well. I would say a lot of old school cats. I think about like uncles and older family members I know that do all right for themselves after retirement. But it's getting harder today. So I don't want to get deep into economics right now. Just due to inflation, a couple generations back, it was a lot easier for that model to work with retirement fund plan. Will have you in a decent position after as long as you had your shit paid off. By the time you retire, you'd be in a decent spot. But I think, even with what you said as far as being an employee or even being an entrepreneur, doing a good job and investing your money and create a passive income for yourself. I recommend everybody get up with a financial planner of some sorts if they don't have one already. We've already had one on the show. So I would say Coach Steve, connect Courtney and see what could be done. I think that'll kind of help with the business side as well. Now I know I got somebody tell me like, this is how much I should be trying to sit aside and pay myself first every time I do a tattoo. Not even for the month. I'll break it down by the job.
Right.
This percentage of this piece, I'm always going to take this percentage, pay myself first in this area, whether it's your salary or whether I'm paying myself first into an investment account for retirement or emergency fund, whatever. And then just have all of your work divvied up already. So if it's like, for example, I have a $500 job, I'd be like, all right, I got 50 going over here. I got 100 going over here. I got 25 going over here. Now we account for everything. Then it'll be easier to be like, I need to do at least 10 pieces a month that average this amount, and I'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? But like, just getting creative with how you divvy up things and financial planner, whether you're an employee or entrepreneur, I think it'll go a long way for anybody.
Absolutely.
I most definitely appreciate that. That's most definitely a gem.
That wasn't even my job. That was Luna's job. But
I was gonna say,
I ain't
stole the purse. You stole the purse, bro. Well, you on the right pod because again, you got some free coaching right there from Coach Wash directly. So there we go. And that's what you do it for. That's what you do it for right there. That's the whole reason you do it right there, bro. The whole reason you do it.
Yeah, that's my son. My bad, guys.
Don't be no. You good, bro.
Man, this coach life, dog.
This is what you're doing it for.
You could have been on here like Samuel Jackson. We weren't gonna beep you out, motherfucker. This, that. You could have did what you wanted. You all right?
Absolutely.
That's real life.
Again, Courtney, I appreciate you jumping on the pod, having this conversation with
Right, thanks
us.
for having me.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. We definitely I wanna have you back on eventually to kind of see where the progress happened, where we are, in a few months from now, in a year from now. Where's the business at today? Before we get out of here, sir, how can people find you if anybody's in the Chicagoland area or in the Indiana, northwestern Indiana area? How can they find you, sir?
I'm located in Indiana Highland. But you can contact me or you can check me out on Instagram at BOGRT_tattoo. Or even on Facebook page, which is Courtney Bogart House, BOGRT.
Perfect. But make sure to have those handles um in the bio for this pod. Again, Coach Courtney, thank you so much for joining the pod. Thank you so much for dropping those gems, sir. Giving us a real good look at the entrepreneurship space, especially when you're just starting, getting off the ground and kind of in that mid-flight mode right now. Again, bro, I can see the nose of your plane is still tipped up, bro. As long as you're
Appreciate it.
still moving in the right direction, bro, you still gonna have all the success that you're supposed to have. You got the mindset already, you got the background, and again, you got the drive. That's more than half the battle.
Man, I appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate this podcast. Just talking to you guys and listening to myself talk, it's so much stuff came into like vision, like so much like I started not recognize I understand. I'm starting to understand certain things. Just talking to you guys and listening to you guys, I'm like, yeah, I appreciate the gems that you guys are dropping, and I appreciate you guys even asking me tougher questions. Because it made me come to realize certain things about myself and help me grow as just a person in general. So I appreciate that.
That's dope. That's dope. Before we get out of here, Coach Looney, you got any last minute words before we get out of here, sir?
Hmm. Um, but I gotta take my time to let it dawn upon me. Um, don't be afraid to embark on the talent that is unique to yourself. I feel like everybody on this pod has been given a certain gift, and at some point we all, whether it was just consumed with life, consumed with circumstances, consumed with whatever, we all kind of we try to put like a lamp shade over that light plenty of times. And I think everybody has a certain talent for a reason. Um, and you know, it's your talent for a reason. You know what I'm saying? For yours example, you and your drawings. Cause why? You and your ability to put words together in the ways that you know what I'm saying, as an artist, for both of y'all. Those talents are given to you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly feel like more and more that I'm just going through life, more and more I'm meeting people, more and more I talk to people. When you are living and doing the things that you actually enjoy, and you find a way to just find a way in every single day to express yourself within the art that you know that you have that talent in, that path that you've kind of avoided eventually runs directly into you.
Mm.
And that invitation is like right there for you. You know what I'm saying? I said this like a week ago, treat intimidation like an invitation. You know what I'm saying? When you get intimidated by what this path is the direct chance and that direct opportunity to finally go ahead and be like, okay, I can't deny it anymore. It's in my face. You know what I'm saying? And that's again, that's a rare gift. Not everybody gets that ability. Not everybody gets that chance to fully explore their talents and fully dive into their talents. There's plenty of people that are still suppressing a lot of the things that they're gifted with because of whatever else that they may be consumed with. But again, I don't think God gave us anything that we're supposed to be should being able to express and share with others we're not supposed to keep that within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's given to us for a reason, but it's given to us through us. You know what I'm saying? To give to other people. You know what I'm saying? And this is your avenue and this is your realm. And just continue to do it, man. Just don't feel down on yourself when you go through those slow seasons. Just continue to draw. You know what I'm saying? You never know what that avenue can lead to. Hell, you may end up making a coloring book. You never know.
Yeah, most definitely. That's actually a great idea, man. Gratitude,
That's what
man.
I'm
I
saying.
appreciate that, bro.
Just keep
There you
going. Just
go.
continue to live within the passion of what you're doing, and then boom, here come the next one. Boom, here come the next one. And now, before you know it, everything that you were worried about in the past has already came and passed. It's way back there. Like I remember I used to be worried about that, but now that's clockwork.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I appreciate, man. Hey, he ain't said nothing this whole time, man. He just dropped a whole like
And
whole
He
that's
gem
does a
on us.
tendency. He has his
yeah,
tendency of doing that.
that's what he do. That's what he do.
That
That's
was there, man. I appreciate that, man. Most
that's the
definitely.
oracle, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man.
Absolutely. Beautifully
Man,
said. Beautifully said.
man, thank you for that, man. Appreciate it, man. Gratitude.
Coach Wash, before we get out of
Man,
here.
first one I want to say I really appreciate and thank God for you, brother. There are some doors gonna open for you very soon. Some doors definitely gonna open for you very soon. Consistent and persistent, and just apply everything you gain every time. I also thank God for Steve. I thank God for Coach Loon. Luna's voice is designed for his path, so he is his. You hear how his delivery just hit you. So yeah, wise words. I love them, but I know what I got to do right
That's kind of why I called on you, bro.
now. I know, but I can speak outside of that too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can give.
Absolutely.
I can give thanks.
As long as you're close with it, that's all.
Hey, I'm a roll with Deja Vu today. Deja Vu. I spit this one in a minute. Let's see. Oh, this gonna blow y'all mind. Y'all gonna have to replay this, by the way. Once we release, y'all have to replay it. Deja Vu. I don't get fly. I don't get fly, but I front like I'm first class. Oxymoronic. I come in first last. Delayed gratification, so I'll first crash. Wisdom. I live this in my first pass. You were in shock when I first blast. Smoking mirrors was when I first laughed. Smile was they first ask, so a smile is what I first mask. Keep it real was my first task. Many a sheep is what I first grasped. Always see who's in first fast. Learn that the microwave never beats the oven in my first class. Quick success on that first last, causing the worst in first crash. Told you I learned this between now and my first pass. So I flow like oceans where I had my first blast. Amongst God where I genuinely first laugh. The source of my smile, not my first mask. Like Mother God, water my seeds, my first task. You won't get this. It'll be sometime before you first grasp. By then, you'll appreciate not being in first fast, and the journey is the destination. I'll be an oxymoron in first last.
Bars.
Bro, I didn't
Bars.
show anything today. This is crazy. That was insane, bro.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You just got blessed. You just got blessed, bro.
I most definitely appreciate that, man. I thought listening to Kendrick Lamar record was like a
Euphoria.
high point, man. Euphoria, man. That was a high point because now I'm gonna go back to this interview and go back to that what you just did and try to dissect that. And so that was dope. That was dope.
Appreciate
That was dope as hell. That was really dope.
Did we have this conversation before, Coach Wash?
First,
Did
last,
me and you have that conversation already?
bro.
Okay. Okay. Just making
My
sure. Just making
my
sure.
first pass, bro. That that's dope. That's dope as hell. Like, I'm gonna take out this.
Deja
You
vu.
gotta remember
Make
the
sure that
name of the
everybody
track is Deja Vu.
exactly. So please, I'm
If you don't know what
assuming
Deja Vu meant, that went over your head 3 times.
exactly. That's what I said. You're gonna have to go back. You have to hit the
You got to.
rewind this and go back and
I'm
listen
fine
to
with
this.
that. I love things like this because I
Slow it
love going
down.
back. Yeah, I love going back. Like, oh, he said that. Yeah, those are my favorite type of lyrics. Those are my favorite type of word plays. My favorite type of like breakers. When you go back, it's like I missed that. Okay, cool.
There was a couple
It's like a
times
good
I
movie.
wanted to say, slow it down.
Nah, it's
Slow it
and you
down.
know what? Like I said, it's like these are like critically acclaimed movies where you miss something. You know, it's like a Christopher Nolan movie. You know, like if you miss that part, you watch it again. So yeah, that was dope, man. I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate it.
Tune in every Friday, except when we're taking breaks. And you can hear more of that. You can hear more of that. So again, I don't think there's anything else left to be said after this pod. I think that Coach Luna, you summed it up very, very, very perfectly. Again, be about your passion. Don't let anybody stop your passion. Again, if you like what you heard, hit that like and subscribe button if you want to hear more from the Coach Life Podcast Radio fam. And as always, my friends, stay positive. Take care.